I offer my humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of our most beloved teacher and friend and guide, Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Being here with all of you, dear brothers and sisters, is a gift of pure love, pure light, and pure joy. Ellen and I were at part of the Akhanda Bhajans that were in Boulder recently, and those of you who were there know that the energy in the room was incredible. And I was sitting in the back. I had to go to a concert in Denver, and I came back, and I was sitting there and just seeing all these beautiful devotees and thinking about today. I was thinking, what do I have to say to any of these people? Because they're just so devoted and so loving of Swami. But I had to speak, so. What I'd like to begin with is in the spirit of the theme for today, faith, love, and hope, is just read through several of the very famous messages that Swami has given to us and that we all know so well. Know that I am always with you, prompting and guiding you. Live always in that constant presence. I have come to light the lamp of love in your heart and to see that it shines day by day with added luster. God's presence can be felt in the depths of silence. Become like a flute, a hollow reed, straight, light, with no substance to hinder his breath. Then he will come and pick you up and breathe divine music through you. Don't speak ill of others, especially in their absence. Help ever, hurt never. There is only one language, the language of the heart. There is only one religion, the religion of love. There is only one God, and He is omnipresent. Do your best, and God will do the rest. You take one step towards me, I take 100 towards you. The soul hum, breathing. Swami tells us as we breathe in, we make the sound so, and as we breathe out, the sound hum is made. Feel I am on the inhale, and He, God, Atma on the exhale. And I remember at the discourse when Swami was demonstrating that, so my voice isn't doing it, but it was wonderful. He just was explaining this and demonstrating. God desires from you only one thing, and that is love. You are born with love. It is the gift of God. Therefore, it must be given to Him. It is His, and so you should return to Him by loving Him incessantly. Loving Him incessantly. And we can love Him incessantly when we have faith in Him. And we can hope that when we love Him, that we'll feel that capacity to love more and more and more strongly. The best way to love God is to love all and serve all. But true worship is a selfless act of service with love. Do your duty sincerely. Service to man is service to God. You don't need to worship God with flowers that fade and decay. Pluck the flowers of virtue and character and love from the garden of your heart and worship God with flowers of value. I'd like to return to the first 4 of those messages from Swami. Faith. And it takes faith to know, as Swami says, that I am always with you, prompting you and guiding you. Live always in that constant presence. In the Western Canteen, there was a sign with very large script as we would go in on the men's side, right there on the left. And this is what it said. And I saw that every day, and it was a mantra for me. Keep repeating it. What does that mean? What does that mean? I am always with you, prompting you and guiding you. Initially, I didn't feel it. But I have to say, with time and my growing faith in Swami and my taking those words deeper and deeper and deeper, today I have no doubt. And there are a lot of times when I'm not thinking about Swami, I'm busy with some activity or concerned about something. But then when I surface out of the ocean of my own mind and take a breath, I know that he's there with me, prompting and guiding. And I know that I am living in that constant presence, as I know we all are. Love. I have come to light the lamp of love in your heart and to see that it shines day by day with added luster. So this is I think for men, this might be more difficult than for the women. The women just have their hearts open all the time. It's very easy to be loving. And it's just very easy. And for us guys, it tends to be more difficult. And not only is it more difficult, but I think we don't really understand what that really means. And it takes time. It takes time listening and repeating that message of Swami, because he's coming to light the lamp of love in your heart. That means that there is a lamp of love in my heart. And he's coming to see that it shines day by day with added luster, which means that it will shine with added luster and brighter. And I have to say one thing about Swami's teachings and Swami's words, that I've realized they're so simple, and yet they're just, he's telling it like it is, and making it so straight. He doesn't mince words, and it doesn't need to, because the message is so simple and clear. And so to think about this, that he's lighting this lamp of love, he's there helping, he's helping it grow. I think the thing that we need to do is remember that I take one step towards you, you take 100 towards me, and that we just have to make the sincere effort to try to light that lamp of love in our hearts, even if we don't understand. And then there may be a moment when we have a little glimmer of that. I see that with our center. It's so beautiful. Some of our people, and Bruce and Andy and Dave, the men on our, and their involvement with the so committed with the service projects, and when they talk about it, I just feel so much the love that they feel for the people that the center is serving. Hope. Become like a flute, a hollow reed, straight, light, with no substance to hinder his breath. Then he will come and pick you up and breathe divine music through you. I'm a musician by profession, and for me, the idea of being a hollow flute is so beautiful. And to feel that God will just play through me. Yes, I have to do my work, I have to practice, I have to train my brain, I have to train my hands. I have work to do. As Swami says, do your best and I will do the rest. And I had an interesting experience a few weeks back where I had to play just one piece on a program. It was celebrating Finland's independence from Russia. It was so great. I've tried this in the past, but this time it was just very different. I thought, oh, Swami and God, you just play through me. And it was so clear. And then I drove to the College of Music, and I still felt that feeling of God and Swami, you're going to play through me. And I warmed up, and then I got out on stage. And also, before I started to play, I had that feeling. And then I felt like I was possessed in a way as I played this piece. It was an 8-minute piece, and it was just so great to feel that I was out of the way, because I just felt, it's not me who's doing this. It's not about me. It's about the music and celebrating the ideals of Finnish people. So I was so happy to have that experience. And today, preparing for today, I've done preparation. But my prayer has been that, Swami, you are speaking through me. You're speaking to the hearts of each of your dear devotees here. And it's not me who's saying anything, it's you who's talking to them. Experience is so important. God's presence can be felt in the depths of silence. So everything we do is about ultimately feeling something. And Swami stresses the importance of silence. And used to be, before the Vedas started, when we went to 1997 for a few years, when Swami would come for darshan, there was the darshan music, and then Swami would go into his room, and then he'd come out and sit on the veranda. There was no music, it was just silent. He'd sit out in his chair, there was no railing, and it was incredibly powerful, that silence. So I think a lot about this, that silence. And he speaks about the 6 enemies. Well, when they are tamed, we can just be silent. When there's no desire, no anger, no greed, no pride, no envy, no hatred, we can just be pretty much vacant. I have a few photographs I'd like to share with you. One is from the beginning of my official work with the band. The Institute Band would play a convocation march, and the band boys, the convocation being November 22nd, and the band boys would go to the auditorium and stand outside. That was their ritual, while Swami came in to listen to the convocation drama practice that was going on. And when he would come out, and he would go to the practice almost daily, back in those days, in '97. And so the boys were out there, and the warden of the hostel had asked me to come and be there because they wanted to introduce me as the band teacher. I had already talked to Swami and gotten his permission, and then they had gone through the official channels. He had given the okay that yes, you can teach the band. But this was the chance for Swami to hear the piece of music that I had actually arranged for the band. The first one I did of, I don't know, 16 or so of those bhajans that would be then a slow march. And so, Swami, can you just go back one? I just want you to see, I had a rose for Swami. They gave me a rose, and you have to give this to Swami. So I gave Swami the rose, and he said, very happy. Because the man on the left is the warden, and he introduced me as Swami's going to be Swami, band teacher Paul. So Swami then put the rose in my pocket. You see it's in my pocket. And I still have the rose. He put the rose in my pocket, and then I was able to take Padnamaskar. And then in the next photo, we're both watching the band. Swami is very happy, smiling, and I'm a little more serious, listening very carefully to any little thing that needs fixing. I worked with the band for about 3 years, and then 3-4 years or so, and I was then, at some point I was elevated to be able to sit on the veranda with the teachers. And then also it came that the band boys were able to get the permission for me to play with them on a Christmas program. So if we go to, so this is a program, you see, but no, go back. Yeah, so Swami is there, sitting, and back in the back you see the red music stand covers the band, and I'm all the way over on the right with the basses, with the 2 tubas. This is the band that I would work with in the white with the red because it's Christmas and Swami's in white for Christmas. The next picture, you see that this is sort of a close-up of me in action with the trombones and the tubas. This obviously was a huge, huge joy for me to be able to be there and with the band boys and where we would sit. When Swami came for darshan, I was right on the aisle, and so Swami would come right through the band, and he'd be looking at us, smiling, and then he'd go on the veranda, and then the card would be given to Swami, and he'd say, "Okay, start." On the convocation, which happens on November 22nd, the band would lead Swami into the Cyclone Hall, and then would lead them out. And this picture is on one of those occasions after the band had led Swami, and he's in his residence there, the new residence opposite Purnachandra. And then we got some photographs there. And that was amazing, just to stand right in front of Swami's door like that. So that's the band, just such a beautiful, beautiful group. I want to share so much, but I have just only 5 minutes. I want to, let's see. Okay, this was in 2002. It was an afternoon darshan. Not many people were there. I was sitting in the veranda, but sort of on the edge there. And as Swami was coming through the ladies' side in that open area before it goes to the men's side, just a thought went through my mind, Swami, you can do anything. And as Swami went through the men's side and came around and approached the veranda, he looked up at me with a kind of curious smile on his face. And it seemed to be saying, check this out. And he came and he then he went diagonally up onto the veranda. And the moment he stepped down with his foot, there was this roar of wind and just a downpour happened. And I was, needless to say, I was stunned. But so he heard me and he showed me, look, I'm in control of nature. I can do this. Let's see, not that one. Well, there's one I want to share with you because this is from my diary. One thing, being there in Prashanti, Swami says don't talk a lot, and then after darshan, don't talk, and just sit there and absorb. And so I took his words to heart and made a point of really trying to absorb as much as I could from every darshan. And in 2006, Jeffrey and I had gone. He had to do the entrance exams, and we went for 9 days, and we spent a few days in Whitefield. And the first day I was then told to sit up front, and then it was either that evening or the next morning somebody said, sir, you need to come back here. And so then they let me, I was able to go inside the gate and be in the area. There's a garden between Swami's residence, Trebrindavan, and the Sairomesh Hall, and that's where I would sit. There was hardly anybody else there. There were 4 black marble benches. And I was sitting on him, and this is from my diary from March 24th, 2006. I was seated on a bench in the garden between Sai Ramesh Hall and Swami's residence, Trey Brindavan. As the bhajans were going on, I was wondering about the overpowering, blissful God energy I felt during yesterday's bhajan. I was tuned into Swami as love is his form. It was so powerful. I was so connected to Swami, so charged. On his way out after bhajans, as Swami was wheeled down the blue carpet behind Sai Ramesh Hall, I was feeling this overpowering fullness of love for him. He was looking straight at me for about 10 seconds as he came toward me. With his left arm vertical, he made at least 2 very large circles. I mean, they were big. It was very dramatic, and I felt a rush of energy fill me. At first, I wasn't sure he was looking at me, but I realized there was no one else where I was, and he just kept looking at me. I felt he was filling me up and also confirming in the affirmative the question I had been asking during bhajans, while seated pretty much alone in the garden on the marble bench facing his residence. So he was in there, and I was looking at his residence. Looking over the grass during bhajans, I was asking, is this intense feeling of love that I am feeling, the overwhelming beauty and goodness and truth, is this the Atma? Is this feeling I'm having my imagination, or in fact, really the truth? Swami was laser beaming me with his eyes as he came down the path, encircling his left arm, and it took me so much by surprise. He was so deliberate, so powerful, nothing old about him, nothing feeble. And for me, it was a glimpse, a window opening for a brief moment into the reality of who Swami really is. I want to just, do we have those other pictures? Let's just go, this is kind of cute. So this is the Leipzig Orchestra, and I am on the right side there narrating for them. They came to play a concert. And next. Afterwards, I was so fortunate to be able to be up front with Swami there, holding his hand as they were taking pictures. And then, this is what's very interesting. You never know when Swami's going to have a teaching. I'm there, Swami's there, and I'm trying to stand lower than Swami, and Swami's like this over me. I'm holding. And Swami looks at me. He's like quick, turns his head to me, and says, I bend, you straight. So, next picture. So, it was amazing. That's Umberto Frascati who organized that. With that, I think my time is ready for bhajans. I thank you so much. I thank you, Swami, for giving Ellen and I this blessed opportunity. And we love you, Swami. We love you. We love you. Jai Sai Ram.